They the Roy's new podcast, who want the smoke? Coming raw and uncut like who want this dope? Whatever you want, they for sure to cover the topic. From racial issues to fashion flies to cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on our this the way the cookie crumbles for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration to all. You know what's up with her. And this shit manifesting is the vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of them all, they the start of it all. You looking for a high learning, holla at Gerard. The professor, nothing less coming at you with the lessons. Get your edge if you knowin' what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it hood for you. Won't need another, this one here really do it for you. Baby, you need a
Hey, we were kind of froze for a minute. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? However, it is your girl I see in the midst of all my black brothers. You know what I'm saying? It is a blessing to just be in the midst of your brothers where you can be the only girl that stands strong and be like, hey, I got this. However, welcome to The Floor Is Yours. We are in the building tonight. First of all, you know what we always want you to do is like, subscribe, and share on all social media platforms, whether that be Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, whatever outlet is out there that we're on, we need you to get out there, tag, like, share, all of those different things. And so, yeah, we're glad to have you on tonight. And remember, we're going to be dialoguing. Some good information is going to be out here. Whether you're trying to take yourself to the next level, connect with the right people to get to the next level, this show is yours tonight. Okay? All right. Gerard.
Yeah. So first, man, it's been a long time since we had the homeboy Superman on the show. So before we go to the guest, man, let's Man, welcome back to the show. I'm gonna let you say a word and then bring in our guests, man.
Man, appreciate it, man. I'm happy to be here tonight, man, and just it's a blessing to be here, man. And I thank y'all for inviting everyone back on the show. I see always giving us the good inspirations. G always giving us a good word, being a facilitator. But tonight, man, we got another special guest, Mr. Kenneth Williams. We call him K-Dub. Man, this man has like extraordinary a business acumen and how to start businesses, what you need to do. So we're just gonna jump right into it and let him kind of just give you some of the gems that he have on like some of the businesses he done created and how he got them started. So welcome, Mr. K-Dub, Mr. Kenneth Williams. My bad, Mr. Kenneth Williams. Man, I'm gonna let you have the mic, man. Go ahead.
Wonderful greetings to each and every one of y'all that's tuning in, as well as those that are here with us this evening. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share on this platform. 2 years ago, I believe it was the first time that I came on. And of course, I was working overseas. I'm still overseas, but I've watched you guys grow, the podcast grow, jump into different platforms, so on and so forth. So, I'm here on vacation now. So I had the opportunity. I reached out and said, hey, can we go back and do a round 2 or whatnot? So I'm grateful for the opportunity, for the breath in my body to be able to share this knowledge with those that are, seeking that next level push while we're in the current times that we are, in this United States.
Man, it's good, man. The big thing is we had the conversation the other day, and when you was telling us what you had going on, we was like, man, we can't let that stay amongst us. We got to get this information out there, man. And Superman tell you, man, you had us energized, man. And just what Superman talked about is like we need to go through some steps, and as we go through the steps, we're going to take the time to give our own personal experience, whether it's personal or if we know somebody. And of course, we got inspirational chic on here to kind of encourage us. She got some longevity as well, and to self-employment, entrepreneurship. So I just hope that we give people what they need and what they can take away is something that they can go back into their own community, their own situations, and just be successful. So let's talk about the steps in starting and scaling a successful business. And that's T Will's word right there, that scaling piece. We got to make sure we want to start, but you always want to be able to scale it,
Right.
when it's appropriate. But I think the first step, one, is understand the purpose and the reason behind what you're doing. And I want to just take a minute for each of you to talk about that, how important that is to you, if you agree, and then how important is that piece of it, the purpose and understanding about what you're doing,
Go ahead, K Dub, kick it off.
Okay, cool.
You like this, man. We got to get
Yes,
the knowledge
indeed.
from the guests. Come on with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's take a moment to go back in the time of the pandemic, right? Which was right around the corner, right? A couple of years ago, so on and so forth. What America's biggest, I would say, financial shift, was those that were in business, right? The first ones that got funded, received funding from the government, were businesses with the PPP, as well as I think it was the EDIL loans, so on and so forth. All of those businesses was funded out that money before any of the consumers received their stimulus check or whatnot, right? So ideally, one say, well, I don't have a purpose, or I don't have a vision for business. What I tell people all the time is go start an LLC. At the end of the day, start a business. When that vision comes to you, or you see the need, or you see something that you can create a niche for, then everything is already set up. And the sole purpose for this is solely, in the sense of understanding a consumer mindset versus a business mindset. As I spoke before last time, I was talking about Carol Dweck. Dr. Carol Dweck, a Stanford professor that created the study of the mindset, the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset, or whatever. So from, coming from that, it's the matter of a consumer mindset, one that spends. This is paycheck to paycheck type living, versus the business mindset that makes money while they sleep, when they go to work, if they decide to go to work, so on and so forth. So structuring that business, you may not have the vision as to what you want to do now, but creating that taxable, and I mean this, the taxable window, far as how you spend and how you operate in your everyday position, is based in the LLC.
Yeah, and so sound like T Will, and you tell me if you agree with that. Even if you don't know specifically what you want to do, Kendall's saying go ahead and at least start an LLC, because there's some potential benefits, even just going that way. Would you agree with that, or are you understanding that way?
Was you talking to me, G, or
Yeah.
K? Oh,
T
well,
Will.
So my thing with that, I was going to ask K. I didn't want to interrupt him, but I was asking him because man, businesses, like some people don't, some of us don't understand how a business is really ran and how tough it is to run a business, right? And from that aspect, you said from tax purposes and all that stuff, man, you got to have a team of people to make this thing run right, because just like a lot of us, we've had business before, probably ain't been official, and we've had people, but they just wasn't ran right. Even like when you talk about LLCs, and corporations and stuff like that. Like I know a guy who does help people set that up. He don't even, and it's still, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, because he don't even like to set up LLCs. He always he preaches corporations. He always say that, because, and we all know the bigger tax advantages is in the corp, is in the S corp, C corps, and all that. So he don't even, man. You talk to this guy, man. He don't like. He's telling you LLCs is not the way. So from your perspective, I know you have one. I got one. G got one. IC got one. But how do you see that? Well, you part of one.
I know that's real.
So how do you see that advantage of having a LLC versus a corp? And what does that look
Absolutely.
like for you?
So I do have a corp. I started off in the LLC or whatever. Then eventually the corporation definitely, the S corp definitely allowed the opportunity for those tax advantages. But I use the concept of umbrella effect or whatnot, right? So I have the corporation, but the LLCs that I start, which will have, their own individual EINs, so on and so forth. So the corporation essentially is the holding company or whatever. So I can pay insurance on my corporation and it will cover everything that falls under the umbrella effect of it. You know what I'm saying? So unless it's I have to go and get those error and omissions for, if I was doing something, okay, like the group home, what I'm doing, the assisted living, what I'm doing now, you know what I'm saying? It calls for a different type of policy, so on and so forth. But the operating of the business itself, that corporation versus that LLC, you have a little more protection, if you will. Ideally, I tell people the LLC, and the reason being, especially if you're a vet and you are in the state of Texas, as of right now, you can go to the Secretary of State website and it is absolutely free. It's 100% free to incorporate or whatnot for the LLC purpose. But at the end of the day, the corporation definitely, you look at the double taxation, the business is taxed, as well as you are making an income or you're earning an income. An LLC is considered a discarded entity in the eyes of the IRS or whatnot, right? So it gives you if you use the LLC to your advantage, it really gives you a straw man, if you will, concept to operate or whatnot until you get to a certain dollar amount that is earned in the business, profit in the business. And then you look to go in and do, I think it's I forget what form it is, 85 or 86, but it's a government form that you would go in to, switch that LLC to a taxable S corp, where it's being taxed as.
And not just add what you're saying is all true, but I think too, also one of the biggest things in layman's terms for people that's trying to understand the basic. A corp is for owned by when you have shareholders. A LLC is going to be individually owned. So it kind of really depends on that word we said earlier, scalability. Once you begin to scale, to Kenneth's point, you will definitely benefit more. With having as a corp, C corp or S corp, whatever, because you're going to have the shareholders. Right. So those that need that kind of interaction from the public, the corporation is going to be a better piece. But I do want to also go back to the mindset of the part about the purpose behind it. What are you doing? I do like what you're saying, Kenneth, about at least getting something started. But I think you got to be creative in that mindset. And tell me if y'all agree with this. If you do get started, you're probably going to have a name that allows flexibility. If you name your LLC Kenneth Lawn Company, lawn services, it's going to limit you. You ain't going to get a business that like a daycare or something like that. Is maybe it's not the best example, but you have to be creative in your name if you're going to go out there and create it before you fully vetted your vision and an idea of which way you want to go.
I totally agree with that because they have the NAICS codes, which is the North American Industry Classification System, which classifies the jobs you can receive to your LLC. That if you're going for contracts and stuff like that, if you have a certain NAICS code for that, it's gonna be like this applies to your job. You can only get this type of contract with this because you got this certain type of NAICS code to it. So you have to be very specific when you're doing it. A lot of people create LLCs to just say, I got a business, or they thinking down the road, or, maybe one day I'm going to do this or that, but not realizing like, hey man, I need to make sure I got the right NAICS code attached to my business. Cause man, there's a lot of government contracts out there, especially for veterans. And I think that's one of the reasons we came on tonight to kind of just, spread this information around to people that don't know, because it's so much money floating around out here. I mean, for these, small businesses and stuff like that, it's crazy.
So let's hit this question right here, because I think it's important before we go to the next one. He said, can you start off as an LLC? And appreciate the comment, Mia, and to everybody else, keep the comments coming. We're going to get to as many as we can. But she said, can you start off as an LLC, then as your business grows, switch over to an S corp seamlessly? Yes, And I've heard it's called the
Absolutely.
conversion. You have to do a conversion and it costs, but that's kind of how business progresses. I think that's how most people would want it to happen, right? Where you start off as an LLC and boom, you explode this thing. The name is the same. You already got your tax, processes set up and building names, all that, right? So now you can, her word is seamlessly. I don't know how
Right.
seamless it'll be, but you can convert that from an LLC to a corporation, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. And then when you get in that corporation, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no. Go ahead, bro. I was just finna throw the tax form out there. Which the form that you have to have it is the 2553 tax form to convert that to an S
There
corp.
it is.
So
There it is.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
absolutely. That corporation, the bigger element of understanding, I ain't gonna say understanding, but the bigger element of moving in the corporation, it basically ties you to the next level to be or to move to an international platform or whatnot. You don't see LLCs moving to, doing business outside of the United States, so on and so forth, without that corporation, either the holding company or whatever it is, the corporation that's actually operating in order to do that next level or that process. And definitely, if that is, like you said, organically, if that happens, like you're on your way. Facebook started off as a LLC, and we see it. Facebook, it is everywhere
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah. And then that's all good information. I just remember to our days in elementary when we started learning how to formulate a paper. We always had to do an outline.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think about this next step that talks about make a business plan. It's like an outline on steroids, right? Where you can get as detailed as you want to be. And I think depending on what you're doing and, not to get too far ahead to the next step when you're going to be securing funding, all this is going to matter. It's not just for the funding, but when you're setting your organization up, and you got to get into the intricate details, how important is the business plan?
Yeah, absolutely. You want it? You want to T-Will, Superman?
No,
Let me
I was
go at
finna. No, go ahead, bro. We got you on here tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So the business plan, like you said, it outlines what the business does, the structure. This is greatly important when you're doing the funding, far as going in for loans or whatever. When you have to sit down and talk with a banker, so on and so forth. Which that is a built up point, built up spot, I should say, while you're continuing to grow your business. Even furthermore, when you're going forward to do your contract bids or whatnot, when you're talking to that COR, which is a contracting officer representative or whatnot, or even just going through the preliminary phases of bidding for that contract, that business plan basically outlines, hey, this is our structure, this is what we're moving, this is our mission, this is our ultimate goal, so on and so forth. However, understand business plans changes quite often. Again, going back to the pandemic, every business that was operating in a brick and mortar store, they had to shift up they had to change up their business plan or whatever in order for them to continue to operate. So what we learned from that is the contingency, that contingency element, far as, putting in your business plan, it should be added in there and in place for situations, that may come up. We've seen, I know at the time, the business that I was working at, basically it was drug testing at the time, and they were not getting any clients. We weren't getting any clients for almost 6 months straight, and we had to come out of that lease. Luckily, there was an active guide clause that was in there that was applied in order to break in that lease. But again, that is all part of the business plan and business structure. So that's one of those elements that's different from, leasing an apartment versus brick and mortar or commercial space.
Yeah. And that's all important. You're talking about getting into the weeds, like that business plan is for that, right? You're not going to think about every issue that could potentially come up or every opportunity that could potentially come, but you need to take your time and get in those spaces. Thankfully, there's a wealth of information out on the internet. There's a lot of people to help you put together business plans. Sometimes you have to spend a little money, but there's people even volunteering their services to help, get it. And one of the things that we learned during COVID, I want to talk about this, is that brick and mortar versus online. We know a lot of companies suffered because people weren't able to get into stores. Restaurants that had been successful for decades literally closed their doors because there was nobody visiting, right? So when you're thinking
Right.
about the business plan, I'm thinking about having a contingency plan too. Like if you're able, how do you shift gears or pivot so that you can still maintain and stay in business? I don't know who
Absolutely.
wants to talk about
Hey
that piece.
G, that what they go into? Is that going to scalability? Being
Absolutely, man.
scale
Yeah, yeah. Um,
that you just hit right on it. I was just sitting there when you said it, I was like, man, that's
Absolutely.
being able to scale because you have to pivot. You have to jump in different, lanes when things change. Like,
yeah,
like you said, the restaurants, how did they come up? How did they do things different? Now that they went to delivering services and they start sealing all
Mhm.
your food to make sure, when they delivered your food, you had to have certain standards, you had to wear gloves, you had to have it sealed. So now it's just, making your business scalable and just going to the next level with it when things happen.
hey, you got me thinking about they that was born the margaritas to go. Man, you can go to
Can I get two,
Glorious,
please?
Bone, all that, right? Margaritas to go, right? I see.
Yeah. Can we get two, please?
So just think about that. I see before the pandemic and after the pandemic. Not saying that that you overly partake in the alcoholic adult beverage, but do you see how necessary it was for them to pivot and be able to accommodate that?
Yeah, and I see why margaritas were probably at the top of the list. A lot of people stuck in the house with people they didn't like. They was used to getting away from their husbands and their wives and them kids, and now everybody's sitting at the house. So they knew that they had a marketable plan for the people that needed a drink or two. That if they just get it to the house, they was gonna be able to get through the night and go to sleep. And
Yeah,
so I didn't get to partake a lot when that was going on, but I sure thank them now that they still got that going where I could just, call in and say, hey, I'm coming to pick this up. Or, they gonna put that little tape across where the straw supposed to enter. Like you ain't
yeah,
gonna really probably sip it before you leave the parking lot, but I'm going.
yeah. That's real. That's real. Armani, appreciate the comment. He said you must have a contingency budget, and you're right. You
Absolutely.
do. Sometimes you don't have that starting off, but I think you build that into your plan. That somehow, hey, let me build a cushion in there. I know in a personal sense, a lot of financial gurus tell us that we need to have 3 months of operating expenses,
Mm,
and
Yep.
and I thought about this airline industry. Like they got hit, and I'm thinking about them making billions, literally billions of dollars a month or per quarter, whatever it was, but they needed a bailout literally 5, 6 months into the pandemic. So
mm,
that's on a greater scale. But to Armani's point, we do need to be able to build up enough cushion financially so that we can try to not just operate, but you might have to build into that how to market different, how to pivot, switch gears. You might need
Right.
a business consultation, a number of
Mhm.
things. You might have to re-outfit your business, in ways that you didn't have to before. But if you don't have that funding, that could be the difference between you staying open and shutting your doors, right?
mm,
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I like what Ivory said, adaptability too. That's
mm,
that's very important there because it's the same thing we was talking about scaling up, but like she was saying, they was adapting to that new way of doing business. So that's very
Absolutely.
important as well.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're right, man. We can get tunnel vision sometimes and get so focused on doing what we know well. And there is nothing wrong with that piece of it. But you're right. You do have to have that budget and being able to be adaptable because,
mm,
man, no one expected. We grew up hearing about these pandemics. But honestly, who of us thought that we'll ever experience it? And especially on that
Right.
level, we had Ebola that came through, but it didn't shut us down like COVID did. So
Mhm.
um, that adaptability, I think, is very, very important.
Yeah.
So include that into your business plan. You're not going to be able to cover every situation that could possibly happen, but I think you got to make sure that you are looking into it, but have somebody else to look at it too, right? Because sometimes we're going to miss some stuff that someone else could potentially pick up on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I did follow right into that next one, man. Number 4 is to surround yourself with the right people, man. That's very important, man, because sometimes you could, you know, you can be around the wrong folks, man, and folks can have the wrong interest at heart about you and your business. So, it's important to surround yourself and have the right people around you, man. That's can't say no more than that.
Yeah, I see.
Absolutely.
We were just talking about that. How important it is. You get people around you that can literally breathe life into you, right? Because it gets tough. It
Mhm.
gets tough, and it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get discouraged. So I'll let you talk on the importance of having the right people around you.
Oh, it's very important, and you learn a little bit more. Like you all can come from a different aspect of even the brick and mortar or the LLCs and the corporations. Well, me being a self-employed hairstylist for 27 years is where you work inside of somebody else. It's a business inside of a business, right? And when we got here, it was something that was totally like we didn't have the access to say, "Oh, girl, I can do your hair by computer. Just meet me on Zoom. I could talk you through it." But were they willing to pay? Because of course they need my hands to make this thing look good. They need my hands to make this thing come to life. And so at that moment, it was an eye opener about having residual income from a different angle. Because in the hair industry, yeah, we make a lot of money. But let something like the pandemic happen again and you're not prepared. And I know you
Right.
can go out there and you can get the business loans when you look at all of those different things, but at the end of the day, you still have a revenue and income that's not coming in. You still definitely, if you have not saved and put back, as you said, then you're definitely in a hole. Thankfully, I was in a good place financially, and then the government helped us, by giving us money to sustain. But the only way I made it was because I don't even think I don't think fix my mind to say I prepare for rainy days or things like that. But I do understand preparing to have like 3 to 6 months of your income and to have those things in place. And it felt good to be in that place. But it also was one of those things that, like what happens. I know that if I can't do hair anymore, I do fall back on, I don't talk about this a lot, but I went to school for interior design. So I have a certificate to decor homes. So if I couldn't do hair no more, at least I know I could start a business where I can paint and say, I need paint on this wall. I need curtains in this corner. I need you to pull up this carpet. I need ceramic tile or bamboo on the floor. At least I could still make money. Even though
Right.
they
Right.
thought that, oh, it's just this girl that's just out here making people beautiful. No, babe, I know how to make things beautiful. Your
Mm,
spirit, your outer appearance, your inner appearance, and your home. And
right
your
on.
business. So I knew that moving forward, I was going to have to surround myself with people that would take me to the next level. Usually you think about when you get married, you marry your partner and we move up this level together. Well, I've never experienced that. Let me just raise my hand. But I have now I feel myself going in the spirit. I have now found myself surrounded by brothers. And I have women too, but being in a place of letting men lead that are not my husband has been very pivotal in my life at this point. Usually you're looking at your mate, but what about it when it's your brother? Or
Mm,
people
Right.
that come in and be a brother that say, "Hey, I see more in you. I see some things." And I got sisters that are, in my life that this. Well, Tamika is one of them, like off the top. T. Will, you and Gerard know where y'all stand. But I'm publicly going to say that now I got, Kendall down here. They call him Dub, but I'm going to call
Right.
him Kendall because that's his name on there. But to be in this place, to get where I am now, and to take even my credit limit up to, I got with my brother, and I'm telling you, and I'm just being real, I've gotten right at a 30,000 limit of credit right now. This is just personal credit. I'm gonna work on this business thing. We're gonna get there. But then to just get there, to get my credit score up to almost a 750, just knowing because I chose to leave a certain setting of the soil that I was in, and to get with the people that I knew that could say, "Hey, I see the vision in you, but I'm gonna help you bring it to life." Not that I
Right.
asked them for anything, but because they saw it in me, they wanted me to get to a greater level. Let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
something. If you don't till your soul and choose to
Right.
walk away from something, that don't mean that y'all can't still be, friends and y'all ain't connected. But that means I got something greater to do. And if I still stay on the same playing field with the same people that think just like me, you gotta take me to another level. If
Yeah.
I'm the toughest in the group right now, then that means I'm in the wrong place. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
here long enough for you to learn something from me, but I need more. And I'm thankful for my more at this time. You understand what I'm talking about? I'm talking about my mortar. It ain't brick and mortar, but it's in the spirit. It is. I got a foundation that's strong. The walls is coming up. We ain't got no wood beams. I got steel beams. That means they gonna hold me up in this thing, and we move to
speak.
the level. So I don't went all the way there because I got excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
oh, hey, what you just said just hit on what you just put up.
uh huh, yeah.
Whew.
The accountability part. You're right. And to your point, I like that you said that don't mean that you throw everybody to the side before, but you need to make sure you surround yourself, because let's be honest, man, starting a business is not easy and it could be outright scary. So you do need people that are encouraging, that are experienced in those areas. And even resourceful, right? Because everybody's not going to be experienced. Everybody's not going to be knowledgeable, but man, if you're resourceful, like I don't know everything, but I know how to go find it. And I am surrounded by a bunch of great people, man, that, I was telling Tamika earlier, her and Ladybug, how they just instilled the level of excellence that I made excuses for before. And I'm telling you, man, you need those people when it's time to get in and figure out like how to go to that next level. Surround yourself with the right people. And again, don't throw people off, because sometimes they can latch on and roll with you, but you got to get people that understand where you're trying to go and they believe in it as well.
Man.
Yeah.
So
that's
absolutely
good, man. So let's go back. We actually, that secure funding, and I know that's one of T. Will's babies right there. That funding, man. You can't. Some people can do stuff with a cute face and a smile, but we're in this era, like, man, you need to have some dollar signs behind it, because that cute smile and pretty faces don't only get you so far. Unless you're Kardashian, I guess.
You don't got to keep emphasizing that, that cute face and stuff. Just don't let T. Will talk about his baby.
Yeah. So that's secure, and you have to get creative, right? I'll give my personal experience. I use my job that I already have, get creative with the money I pay for taxes. Josh, shout out to Josh. He's been on the show a few times, but our taxes is our biggest liability. So I figured out through Josh learning how to divert my taxes from giving it to Uncle Sam to opening up an LLC and a nonprofit and spending it through there and letting all my expenses be spent through my business. Right. So that secure funding, there's a number of ways, and I'm gonna let Kenneth talk about just maybe one or two ways that you can go about securing funding.
Yeah. So my number one, what I tell clients that's coming in through us is right now, Novo is a fintech product or whatever. You can create the business account with those guys. Keep the account on score. Of course, run everything. This should be your operating account at this point when you open that account.
So what is Novo, real quick, for us that don't know?
Novo, Novo. It is a bank. It's a fintech product or whatnot. I think they've been around for about 6 or 7 years. But they have, and I'll explain why I'm talking on them specifically. But Novo, you open up your business account and, you run everything through there. Everything, divert everything that's going, allow this account for Novo to identify it as your operating account, right?
So my money that I got coming in, direct deposit, goes into
should be going to this Novo. This is why.
My card I need to use
Novo. This is why. Because at that 91st day of having that account, you're already going to qualify at 60 days. They'll come up and say, hey, we have a business line of credit that you can get. And that business line of credit goes up to $75K, right? Up to $75,000. So if you're running those numbers through there, if you know the formula of how line of credits are basically given and whatnot, which is ideally a 10% of whatever your gross that pushes through that month, they'll take those and average them off and then look at whatever that 10 percentile is. And depending on credit, so on and so forth, they will give you that line of credit, right? That's a formula that they use. But if you run all your expenses through there, they'll turn around and you'll qualify, which is a soft pull. They will soft pull your Experian credit report, and they will give you a business line of credit. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys Novo is there is no other bank on the personal or the business side that's giving a business line of credit at 1.5% interest, right? Let's think about that.
What?
1.5% interest on this line of credit. Now, whatever you use, you have a 6-month window to pay it back. But of course, it's a line of credit. So when you pay it back, you can repeat the process all over again. So again, that's Novo, Novo or whatnot. So that's one that I tell people to use. Then jumping in with these credit unions, I see says she's ready to get over into the business funding, right? Okay. All right. But no, definitely getting in with these credit unions. I myself, Service Credit Union, I was able to get in with those guys. They have a business account as well. You have to be 2 years in business or, incorporated or, in that state which they're in. When I think they're in 3 different states. The same way with DCU. These jokers are giving out the bag, right? I got a business line of credit, a 50K business line of credit, a 50K business and a 50K personal line of credit with Service Credit Union. You know what I'm saying?
So are
you go over the
suggesting credit union over a bank? Or that's just your experience with that credit union?
I don't deal with big bank. I deal with big banks to have a relationship with them or whatnot. But I deal with, far as the funding aspect, I go with credit unions because I'm getting a better interest rate on my money. And then more than likely, you have a more personable relationship with the credit union, right? So if I go to Bank of America, let's say, you know what I'm saying? Bank of America is essentially in all 50 states. Well, actually, it's not in Alaska, believe it or not, right? It's in majority of the states. I can go to Bank of America and talk to this banker, which may not have a great or may not leave a great experience on my brain versus me going to Texas or going to here, there, so on and so forth. But when I'm dealing with one individual at a credit union, when I walk in, it's, hey, Kenneth, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? It's a personable experience or whatever, which creates opportunity where you can share ideas. Hey, this is where I'm going, so on and so forth, which most banks know other lenders. Whether it's hard money lenders, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth, they're in that circle, they're in that industry or whatnot. So I look at credit unions for the fundable aspect of it, but even more so the relationships.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. So that funding piece is it's a must. And
Yeah,
I just tell
absolutely.
people, it's a ton of ways to use funding. I know T Will just, before we go to commercial break, T Will and I was talking about how to leverage your 401k. What most people understand, especially if you started late with your 401k, it's really not the ideal way. And there's some subjectivity to it, but it's probably not the best way to prepare for retirement if it's just in the 401k. So I know some people are taking that 401k out and using that, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest into a business. So I'm not telling everybody to go cash out their 401k right now. Do it under the guidance and direction of people that are way smarter than me. But yeah,
Just make sure you get all the ins and outs to it, the tax implications and all that to it when you take that money out. But it's a good resource.
Yeah, it is. So yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. 401ks, I'm bitter towards 401ks.
Well, man, I could speak on them personally. Like that's how I started investing with them. Like with a TSP, I had that money in there, so I was like, I needed like I think we needed like 40 some grand to invest in this, trying to buy this house. And man, I pulled everything up out of there and invested with it quick. Took me like 4 days.
And it made sense. It definitely made sense. I think just moving as you're growing or whatnot, as you're growing and you begin to talk to other people and how they have done, so on and so forth, you just take a little more here, there, and so on and so forth. So 401ks, I was there. That's how I started in real estate as well with my 401k or whatnot. But now I look at it, you have to think of it in this concept, right? You're putting your money into an account that is deferred taxes, right? Your working money that you earned income, right? They take it out and it goes into an account, but you're going to have to pay taxes on it when you're not working. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you're not earning any income and now they're giving you that check of that money that you had, you're going to pay at the current tax rate that it is. And I think 2026 is when, Congress comes back and decide whether it's going to be another 8-year window where they push taxes, so on and so forth or whatnot, which it makes, the 401k makes sense. But if if we go in and research the 401k, it comes only in place for tax. It gave businesses the tax. They're the ones who actually win off of a 401k, even if they are matching you, so on and so forth. Us as the individuals or the employees, we're still falling, if you will, under the Rockefeller concept. You know what I'm saying? We're still workers and we're not thinkers or whatnot, right? And I say that in all honesty because it was this platform, right, that took me to the next level. I watched, I think it was y'all second or third show when y'all had the gentleman on that had the insurance. I forget his name or
NFL
whatnot.
player, if you will, the NFL player, your boy from Tyler.
Yeah. I reached out to him or whatnot, and I just had questions. So what I did was I went and got my license so then I can get into it and understand the whole different aspect of it. And now I see like, yeah, I still have my 401k, I still have my TSP or whatever, but now I'm pushing money over into, you know, a type of account that will basically, when it does pay out at retirement time, that's tax-free money. Yeah, I have RAs, self-directed Roth IRAs or whatever, but you can have 100 IRAs, but you can't put between those 100 IRAs, you can only put to the max amount, period, over all 100 IRAs. And ideally, the IRA, you know, it pays out tax-free because it's earned, you know, that money that's already going in is tax money. And that's the same concept with insurance. So 401k, if you got it, use it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, excuse me. If you're working and they offering it to you and your company is matching, yeah, definitely use it. When you leave the company, move that money somewhere else. I say move it to annuities. And I could go, you know, that's a whole nother conversation. But I could go in and I could go in and explain why, how you'll make that what you're going to make. You know, I look at teachers, right? My ex-wife is an educator. They have the 403B type of funding or whatnot. And it's going to take, you know, in that 403B, the years that you work versus your age when you retire has to equal to 80. So that's a long time for money just to be moving at whatever pace. And everybody that have a 401k during this pandemic lost some type of money, whether it bounced back and so on and so forth. Your 401k went down before it went back up or whatnot, even if it got back to where it was. I'm sorry. I just
man, that's no. You I can tell you know your stuff on it. You very passionate. But we're gonna take it to a commercial break and we're gonna pick right back up because it was something you said in there that people need to know about it. But let's go to a quick commercial break.
Success ain't gonna happen overnight. It may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may even take 10 years. For some people, it might take even longer than that. But one thing I do know, as long as you keep fighting and staying consistent, you will make it. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you gonna make it?
Creed. Step in that water, step in that water, step in that water. Yeah. You gotta be willing to go out and get it. You gotta dive in it, go and get it. Step in that water, step in that water, step in that water. Yeah.
Let me find out that's your song.
Let me tell you why that's my song. I know when he said step in that water, step in that water. He said you gotta dive in and go get it.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, I can be. I'm that cute girl with the smile, but I'll be over there with that trap music, like what? I see it. I see MC Miracle's Closet, Miracle across the board. He is definitely one of our brothers that we love dearly from the Texarkana area. He is a barber. He's an entrepreneur. He's writing books and he has his own clothing line, but he's also had to face some adversities in life that probably could have took him out, but he kept on moving and he's very successful in where he is as a black man. And I'm proud of him. And so check him out. He cuts hair over in Frisco. Am I correct?
Yeah, he's actually in the colony.
In the colony. So if you're in the DFW area, specifically the colony, make sure you check him out. Facebook page is Miracle's Closet. Miracle Hendricks is his name. Get over there, let him cut you up. Get a t-shirt, get your chicks some glasses. Chicks, if you need your eyebrows done, he'll slay them too. You know what I'm saying? No, eyebrows, not lashes. Eyebrows. But yeah, follow him because he's a very nice young man.
Yeah. Cool.
Right
They got me
on.
working hard tonight, y'all. I just want
Hey,
That's what's up.
but hey, man, you got some jewels, man. I know this is gonna be for another conversation because what you was
Yeah.
talking about, man, that right there go over a lot of people's head on it because you got to really understand how that stuff works. But
Right.
I believe I know that for me and myself and everybody's situation is different. I use those things as investment tools.
Right.
Those
Ultimately.
things just get me to where I need to go in
Right.
without me having to go through all the red tape. So
Absolutely.
that's why I agree with having them. I don't think that's the all and be all. And to me, I got a different intake on those retirement plans and anything because if you think about it, man, if you don't have like my thing is if you don't really have over $1 million in those retirement plans, how can you really retire on those?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I ain't gonna get deep in it. Let's jump back on to what we was talking about, man. Let's get
Yeah.
back
Yes,
into
sir.
to number 6, which is establish a location. And I'll get y'all's input on, because we know that it's good to be in a good location when you're doing
Mhm.
business and establishing it as well. But like you said, now they figured out we can do things remotely. So, just I guess it depends on what type of industry you're in. But I'll let
Absolutely.
y'all chime
Yeah.
in on that.
And just real quick, just to add on what you're talking about, I know as real estate changes. Now I'm talking about commercial real estate now.
Yeah.
You go to some of the I'm on my way to East Texas and I pass through some of these smaller towns like Greenville and Princeton and all that, and you see some of the older downtowns that are trying to bring businesses there. And I remember looking at the price of some of the downtown real estate, and it's like pennies on the dollars compared to a downtown area like Dallas. But
Mhm.
you can get literally similar revenue or visitation from customers or whatnot. So specifically Texarkana, I see Texarkana downtown is booming. Now you got some people down there that are making a great living from restaurants, other kind of storefronts for like merchandise, books, clothing, things like that. So just something to think about when you're looking at and let Kenneth talk about this. I know you're doing houses for veterans. So what are
Mhm.
some of the things you consider when you're looking at location?
Um, the main thing for specifically for me is how close is the local VA hospital, so on and so forth, right? If they are in network, their doctors, wherever they have to travel, because the second part of providing the housing is providing the transportation, which calls for another contract, right? You know what I'm saying? So ideally looking at those two elements, because the concept is covered under federal law in the sense of providing affordable uh, uh, home housing or whatnot. So I can do it pretty much from any state, give or take, depending on if I can get, in other words, for me coming in to snatch two contracts versus just one or whatnot, so that it can sustain the business or whatnot. So ideally, those are the two elements. But location, depending again, as it was said, depending on the industry you're in. What we did understand in this pandemic, the level of resilience allowed for a lot of people to create digital products and sell online, whether it was an ebook, whether it was a course, whether it was just, hey, you can call, you can follow my live feed, so on and so forth, and get paid. So ideally, location is definitely based off of the industry itself.
Yeah, and another part of location too is sometimes you gotta have it, and I'm talking about the business credit part. They want you to have an actual address and not a PO box, right? So I know some of the things they look for to make sure your business is legitimate is they want to see if you got a fax line, a telephone, and I know it varies depending on the financial institution, but some of them do require that you have a location. Now it could be one of those places like Regis that has the virtual office and they have the shared space where you can come in and conduct your business. You can get all your mail sent there, things like that. But
Mhm.
you do have to consider a location depending on what you're needing. If you're going to need business credit, that might be something that you have to consider.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, another reason why it's important not to incorporate in your home address is because for with the exception of the states that hold that information in a private uh, block, but when you put your home address on there, it becomes public record or whatnot. And now, when you didn't want to be seen, I had a gift card brokerage, right? And it was this guy that I ain't even gonna say the name of that brokerage, but he had made it big, and he was killing my competition. I went in and I looked up his LLC out of the state that he was in, and I seen the address, and I went and Googled it on Google Earth, and he was running his operation out of his house or whatnot. And I was like, oh man, that's super dangerous or whatever, because it's a raw cash flowing business or whatever, the gift card element or whatnot. So, and I took $500. I took a title loan from a minivan that I was using, and I took that 500 and made 80,000 in profit the first year off of gift cards. And it was like, but that don't even make sense.
Damn.
But it was a golden opportunity, and I took it. And believe it or not, you know where I found that idea from? Shark Tank.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the way T Will said, damn.
Yeah.
He said 500. Did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
called it. I was on mute, so you didn't get to hear me like chuckle like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
I got
500,
500.
80K.
80,000
Man.
profit. Yeah.
You didn't
Absolutely.
tell me about that little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a dead industry now. It still makes sense. It still
okay.
works. But when it was wide open, I mean, it was wide open, man.
I wish I would have been wide open with you.
Yeah. Hey, it was tough. I mean, I'm in Killeen, Texas, but I would, on the weekends, I would drive to Dallas. I would drive to El Paso. I would drive to Houston. I would drive to wherever it was. I go with $10,000 cash or whatnot, but I would meet people in the public, call, hey, these cards good, this, that, and the other. Depending on certain cards, I'll move it real quick before, the transaction, and then give them the money. It's different ways in protecting it. But yeah, but by Monday, Tuesday, I have all of that money right back with my profit, which is, 20%, give or take on whatever it was I was doing.
That's
Lord,
crazy,
you done
man.
sat down in that man mind over there.
Hey, it just goes back to that creativity, man. To T. Will
Yes.
always talk about, man. You have to be creative and thinking about what's next, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And back to what we was talking about on the location thing, I think that goes with saying, establishing, being in the right location where, there's a lot of business, a lot of traffic. And that's going to come with the next thing with your marketing plan, because, who you're marketing to, who you're trying to attract into your business, who are you trying to make your clients, all that stuff. It all comes together. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just one of those things. And once you get into business and you set up, now you start realizing, like, I got to come up with a marketing plan, to make my business grow.
Yeah, and that's crazy because sometimes I heard people complain, and I'm people sometimes. I'll be honest, but we complain about people not helping us or not supporting us.
Yeah.
All my family on here, and if I just get one of my family, each one of them to buy a product from me, man, that'll be such and such, such, such. And when they don't, I'm looking at them sideways because they spending their money at Walmart and the Polo and all that. And I started to be honest with myself, like marketing don't work just because I know you come buy my product.
Right.
People spend a lot of money in the space of marketing and advertising. So
Yeah.
making a Facebook post, it is technically marketing, but you got to understand you're going to get out what you put in. Now, can you go viral every now and then and do a quick come up? But I think those are more the exception than a rule, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That is, but I mean, it's kind of sometimes is, and it's not just marketing, it's how you market. Like people can say, I'm marketing is more, but it's really, it's a science to it, man. Like I mean, I've tried a lot of things and it didn't work, and I was trying to figure out, well, damn, why it didn't work. Like, you know,
What
but
Tamika just
like
said,
like
it's
she
an
said,
art.
it's an art, man. It really is. Like,
And she
Yep.
cold blooded with it. You heard
yeah,
me.
Oh yeah, man. I see ain't stopped raving about Tamika since she been
That's
doing
my
my video
girl. That's
series.
my girl.
Yeah,
I gotta
but
meet Tamika. I ain't never met
You,
Tamika yet. I gotta meet her.
Me
we ain't met
too.
in person. She
yeah,
Me
cold
we
blooded.
haven't
too.
met her in
Yeah,
person,
Yeah, but
but
what we tell
it's
everybody,
like
I
we've been
say,
knowing her.
get you a Tamika, man. She cold blooded, man.
Just
Like
not
for
our
real.
Yeah.
Tamika.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we'll share,
Yeah.
but you have to pay her. Not
Oh
y'all.
yeah, let
Yeah.
me back it
Yeah.
up. Make her get, let her get her coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Absolutely.
just ain't y'all best friend.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
man.
know that and
Imagine
approach
Walmart.
her as such.
That's
Can you
right.
imagine
Yeah.
Walmart and Target complaining because they family and not coming to their store? You know, when you get outside the self, sometimes it sounds ridiculous, but I get it. You know, don't mean that your family is off limits, but don't just limit yourself to only your friends and family.
Yeah.
Market to them, but don't take them for granted either. Like really, if you want them to buy your product or pay for your service, man, treat them like anybody you would, like a stranger, not really
Like
market
a
it to
real client.
way. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it would make them want to spend their time and their money with you. Would y'all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
because you know when
agree.
they go to Louis
Absolutely.
Vuitton, they got a glass of champagne on the tray for you.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Right, right.
I
Which is a
always say,
tax write-off for them, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
man. Hey, you treat everybody, you respect everybody, man. That that's coming in to patronize your business and bring your business, and because usually it's the people that you don't know that's gonna be your clients.
yeah.
Is what
Right.
I've
Mhm.
experienced. So
Oh
It's,
yeah.
it goes
Can we
back to
say
that
amen?
saying, amen. It goes back to that saying, most people say blood is thicker than water. But if you really look at that quote and see what the quote actually says, it says, for the covenant of the blood is thicker than the water that runs through the womb or
mm,
whatnot, right? So just in understanding that, like, man, the people that you don't know, it's, a lot of times people say, man, you don't do business with family, so on and so forth. But it is the individuals that can, as we said earlier, you get around like-minded individuals and whatnot. And now it's just those different elements that take you from where you are to where you're trying to go. If you align yourself to where you're trying to go, God will take you to where it is that you need to be. That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? Even the Bible says, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman
Okay.
that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? So when you take that as what it is and you apply it to your everyday existence, right? You align yourself and you get to where you need to be, he's gonna take you where you want to be.
man,
And it's ironic that you use the word align. I've been using it, like even typing it on like posts, like lately, or when I speak, the alignment of purpose, the purpose people in your life, purposeful
Absolutely.
alignments. Because it
Absolutely.
was a statement made that they found out that they had more friends like when they were probably in the valley than they
Right.
did when they were in their low place. And I said, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
thankful for the fact that I've matured enough to know that I'm not mad if they fell off and they were there in that moment. I had more
Yeah.
friends there, but I'm thankful now that the alignment of purposeful alignments are connected. And I ain't mad because they was back then when I was low, but they ain't up here with me now. I'm cool
Yeah.
with it because I done matured
Absolutely.
enough to know that there's a
Yeah.
purpose alignment that's ahead of me, baby. And I ain't mad at them.
Yes, absolutely. And then what's
Yeah.
even, and this is what even much more stronger, right? When they were in the valley, when the people had left Egypt, right? And they come out of the valley, right? 40 years, they've been sitting in the wilderness, right? They come right out and hit their first battle. Now this is under Joshua, right? And when they go into Jericho to battle, they didn't even have to use their weapons. They walked around that thing 7 times because they were where they needed to be, aligned themselves to where they needed to be. God said, man,
man.
watch this. I'll make the whole city crumble to where it is that you're trying to go. So, I'm sorry. I'm a PK. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
man, you
I'm
hey,
ordained.
keep going, keep
So
going,
this is
bro.
where
That's
it is.
hey,
This
somebody,
is my
somebody
life.
getting
You know what I'm
something.
saying?
Somebody getting
Yeah,
Hey,
something tonight.
absolutely. This
you know,
is
one
this
of the
is my
steps
life.
is that we're going through these steps of his business plan. One of them that it left out is the faith aspect, right?
Yeah,
Because we
yeah,
talked about that it gets discouraging, and some days you don't know, and you want to just like, you know what, I'm about to go and put me an application in somewhere, But that faith element. Now, we're
Mhm.
not talking about that blind faith like some people think that
Yeah.
Christianity is talking about. It's not blind faith. It says that it
Mhm.
is substance of things not seen, and what is the substance of those
Things
hoped
hoped
for, and the evidence of things not seen. So yeah, if you try to do this, I'm talking about me now. If you go through this thing without a level of faith, man, you're gonna be distracted. You're gonna pivot when you shouldn't. You're gonna get scared. You're gonna panic, and you're gonna waste a lot of money, a lot of time, and then your credibility gets shot. Good luck trying to win that back, right?
Right. And to caveat on that, the word becomes, before he says faith, is now. Now faith is the substance. You know what I'm saying? So all of that is, it just, it gets in that pot, and you know what I'm saying, it melts down real good. You know what I'm saying? And it boils, then it simmers, then it cool down, and oh, taste and see, right? Oh, taste and see that the
You know
Lord
that
is
old
good.
song back in the day, it said, "Sprinkle me, baby." I just feel like I want to sprinkle you, boy. Come on.
Yeah, hey, I see said back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, you're all
on me.
Yes, absolutely.
Rick said, come on,
And
we
now,
must have faith.
and now you must pay the premium in order to sit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the Bible says, look, I shall prepare a table. I'm gonna stop, man. In the present, look, he said, I'll prepare a table, right? When you go to the restaurant, you say, hey, it's a table for two. They say, oh, okay. When you go to a restaurant and say, I have a reservation, they say, oh yeah, come on over here. Because they have prepared you a table for where you need to be, right? For where you need to feast, right? For what it is that you must have in this moment, in this time, right? So to have a table prepared for you, I'm gonna stop, man. I apologize. I apologize.
What you apologizing for, bro?
I get excited. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, don't hey man, don't deny nobody their blessing, bro. You don't know.
To God be the glory. You know, I'm not
I like
here
the way he
today.
presented that thing though, because even in the Bible, when it was prepared, you had to always. Well, I did it one night on the live, and I had a table setting. I had a plate, I had the saucer, I had the glass, and I'm like, this is what prepared. But I like the way you use a like it was reserved. I made a reservation for the table.
Yes, ma'am.
That meant they already had everything in place for you.
Versus
when you come in, they got to bring it and put it in front of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got it prepared in the midst of your enemies.
They knew you was coming.
Yeah. Man, you know what, man? That's real. You know, again, that faith thing, man. We can put all our faith in self, because we let's be honest, we some cold pieces.
Absolutely.
We know how to read. We can figure out some stuff on our own, but man, when you talking about that next level of success, and I'm not going to even say it, man. I'm just leaving it. I'm just saying, when it comes from God, man, it don't come with sorrow. Ain't that what the words say, man?
No, man.
Yeah.
It don't come with sorrow. Sometimes when we are building, it comes with success.
Yeah.
But man, it is wearing us down, man. You see some people that, man, it's weighing on them. So just something to think about, and yeah, we ain't gonna get in that no more. So
they said time.
Pass the plate.
Yeah. So let's go to this last one before we close out. And I think this is closely aligned with the previous one, which was develop a marketing plan, but it's build your customer base. I think those feed off of each other, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So when you build your customer base, I'm thinking about I see your years in the hair industry and Superman, you in the real estate business. How do you go about building a customer base? There's a number of ways, but specifically your sales. What do you do to build your customer base?
Me personally, man, I service people, man. I'm not in no sales business. I'm in the service business, and I tell people that, like, hey, man, you in the sales? I said, man, I don't have to sell nobody, because, and G know my favorite line. When I do my consultations, my first thing is say, let me get this out the way. And some people ain't comfortable. Some people ain't, some people, they understand it. But my first thing is to tell them, look, I'm going to make money with or without you. So understand I got your best interest at heart. But I don't want you in your mind thinking I'm going to have you doing something that you don't want to do, or I'm going to try to persuade you, because that ain't how I roll. You know what I'm saying? I roll with integrity and commitment and excellence. And that's break it down. That's ice. That's how I roll. So when I do that, and I know I'm working in your best interest, and I'm doing everything in my best possible to make sure that you're taken care of. I know that it's gonna work out, so I don't sweat that. And then in turn, what that does is that creates it creates my own marketing plan by itself, because when I take care of somebody, they go tell somebody else. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much how my business flow.
Yeah.
So watch
Word of
this.
mouth.
So you worded that in an arena of real estate, but it still coincides with being a hairdresser. I have to service. I have to take care of. Now, ain't that
Yes,
ICE,
ma'am.
which I mean, I am ICE, but I was gonna mess with you about that one piece of ice and a finger stir. But it's the same thing. I'm here to provide a service, but I'm also here to tell you that this is what you may need. And if this is
Yes.
not what you're gonna, abide by or take my advice to say this is what I need to do for you, then I'm not the stylist for you. So in other words, I'm still gonna make money with or without you. Even right now, I work in corporate America. I work for $1 billion company, but I still operate in my passion of doing hair, but I take care of corporate people, okay?
That's
And my
right.
thing is they've been jacked up by the head and they coming down there and the little brown girl taking care of them and they listening and, I'm putting this IC loving on them and all of these different things. But at the same time, if I leave tomorrow, I still take my hands and I can service somebody else. I'm still gonna make money because I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do in the arena that he gave me, but he just put me on a different playing field. Once again, I'm learning because I have to read these, protocol books and stuff and code of conduct, but it's still teaching me something moving forward in my own business in some new avenues. So it's an alignment going on.
Right
Yes,
on.
indeed.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
that's good, man. And the thing is, T. Will talked about that integrity. I think we need to do everything. That E can be excellence, but also, I'm sorry, the I is integrity. Pardon me. I went to Texas High, and they did teach me. That wasn't the school. That was me.
Hey, you didn't mess up. It
Yeah,
was. I did throw. I said ICE. ICE.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Integrity
did.
and excellence.
Excellence
So,
is in there, baby.
I caught it.
when Josh does his briefing or whatever you want to call it, it's not briefing, that's not the military, but he does his training on how to reduce your tax liability by 50 to 70%. He says do it morally, ethically, and legally. Like if it don't meet those three criteria, I don't want any parts of it.
Right.
It's a lot of people that come out, find out fast ways to make money, even if you get away with it, man. Just the stress that you go about, day to day, living that way. I don't want no parts of it. So that integrity and excellence, I think they go hand in hand.
I just read an article out of the state of Florida, Broward County. They just arrest 17, or was it 12 or 17. You seen that? The deputies
that was crazy.
for committing fraud with the PPP loan or whatever or whatnot. And the
Are they
chief
still
of
going
police,
after?
yeah, the
This
chief of
lady in the
police.
game.
Say again.
I said it's pretty late in the game.
Oh yeah, but they
They
officers.
still going.
They name came down. What we're seeing in the shift of security, it's requiring more. That's what we've seen, the downsizing of the military over the last 2 years or whatnot. Just in the Army, I think the Army retired 20,000 soldiers last year, and of that 20,000, I think 3% are here in this area, Killeen, Fort Hood area. But I say that to say, the chief of police or whatnot, he said, hey, this individual can very well be a great officer or whatnot, but out of the presence of that uniform, that integrity had to be held, and that individual, chose to do whichever, way, so on and so forth. So I say that to say what goes on in the dark comes to the light. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that you move, because as you grow, opportunities will come. Opportunities will become available. I witnessed with one of my companies a contract that had never been written, on a government base or whatever. So to grab a government contract for credit repair of the citizens of that, of that city, it had never been done or whatever, right? But so as you grow, man, that level of integrity, and as you move, the excellence or whatever, word of mouth, that's your best best method or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But as you go and I had to do a speaking engagement when I first come back in the United States, and my customer base is everybody, because everybody needs to know something about something or whatnot, right? So if you look in this church structure, a bishop is considered the pastor to the pastors or whatnot, right? So I consider myself the bishop to the information, right?
Come on.
So, but no, everybody has information in it. Everybody has information that they should be putting out. This is why I go back to say about the digital products, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, everybody is your customer. Whether they will repeat, so on and so forth, you do have a target, a market, a target audience that you're going after, but it will be people that are not directly in your target market that may see your ad or may have had that conversation that sends individuals over to you to do business or whatever. So first impressions are definitely lasting impressions.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, sir.
And this integrity piece too, she said, needs to be part of your culture. You're right. You can't be, honest yourself, and then your people around you that work with you are doing funny business, because it's going to drag it under too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just good. But hey, this was a lot of good information.
It was.
It's time where we're going to do our parting thoughts, and then we got something special at the very end. So we always go with the lady first. Let's let everybody take a minute or less to just do a quick parting thought.
You know what that means? He said, "I see, don't go too long." It is okay.
I ain't say it directly.
Go for what you know, I see. Go for what you know.
It's really simple. It's really plain. It's just like, it's really simple tonight. It's just about this table reservation. No longer should you allow yourself to just walk into a place and expect them to seat you the way just because you showed up. You need to get to a place in your life that your tables are now reserved, baby. That they got it already set up for you, because they're prepared for you, because you're coming in to execute what you want to move forward in life. You're not uncertain anymore. All I know is, I'm gonna say this, her next move, that's me right now. I need it to be y'all next move. And your next move is your best move. And that means stop just going into this little place where they just want to give you, little what the hot wings and stuff like that, 2 for $20. You need to be over here sitting where they got you filet mignon sitting on the table. Or if you don't even eat red meat no more, get you some expensive lobster or some shrimp or some things like that. And if you're vegetarian, get you a nice bougie salad. But make sure that your tables are being reserved in your life, and no more just walking in, but you already calling ahead saying it's gonna be a table of 2 tonight, but tomorrow I need a whole boardroom because it's gonna be 12 of us. The 12 disciples coming through. We got some things to do.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Prepare yourself for your next, because honey, and connect with the right people. Because I'm just telling you, he preparing tables, and we finna sit at them, right? Because we got reservations.
She said that veggie burger. Yeah. Hey, K-Dub, we're gonna let you hit this next one, man. Give us some parting thoughts.
Yeah. Absolutely. The Bible says who the Son sets free is truly free indeed. So you are free to get to the I see just spoke on, right? You are free to set that reservation, right? You are free to exist in the skin that you are in and be better than what you thought you were going to be better than what those that is in high school, middle school, or elementary thought that you were going to be. Ultimately, at the end of the day, be free to move in your space. Malcolm X once said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. God bless.
All right, man. That's dope.
Freedom,
That's
move in your
dope, man.
space. That's
Superman, parting thoughts.
You know what, man? Hey, man, I don't really have too much to say, but I always go to I like to say, man, faith without works is dead.
There it is.
If you don't understand that simple phrase there, I'll break it down for you, man. Like a lot of people with this manifesting stuff, they think, oh yeah, just because you're manifesting, it's gonna come true. I said, well, there's another part to that. I said, it's just the same way manifesting is like it's the same thing as having faith. You're thinking about something before it could even happen. You want it to happen before it's there, right? But if you don't put in the work, it's dead. It's manifesting is dead. So, that's my go-to, man. Faith without work is dead. So, in other words, put in the work.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. That faith without works is dead. And that whole kind of what we talked about earlier about the faith piece. Like you can have some success, but I just think it's another level when you subscribe to a power that's greater than itself. So here's my little part thoughts. Comes with a video real quick. I want everybody to take a moment and watch this little short video.
Yes, sir.
No, it ain't that one. It's another one.
Watch out for that truck. What's up?
Oh my God.
What's wrong?
Yo, I've been looking for you ever since I moved down here.
Where you from?
I'm from Jacksonville.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Your first time meeting me?
All right, I'm gonna let you go. I love you, Officer Norman,
What do you get emotional for?
because like you've been a very good help in this community, and I thank you for that.
So I'm stopped at a red light and you walking down Pike Avenue. You spot me.
Yes, sir. Because I was talking to myself, and I was like, "Is that Officer Norman?"
Man, you gonna make me cry. You gonna make me cry. We're right here in the middle of Pike Avenue, and you getting teary-eyed. You make me teary-eyed.
Because I told my mama I want to meet him so bad, and like I finally met you. So
What's
I'm
your
gonna
name?
call my mama Cornelius. My name is Cornelius.
Hey, I love you.
I love you too.
So I saw that video earlier, man. It just made me automatically go into thought that sometimes not everybody needs money, or not everybody needs a meal. Sometimes they just need you to be present and to breathe life up into them. So I'm telling y'all, like shows like this, man, I want y'all to know, like y'all encourage me. So I know that you encouraged other people too. So y'all on this panel, people out in the audience, I just want to make sure that show up. I know you get tired and weary sometimes, but somebody is really, you don't even understand that they are looking at you for an opportunity to help breathe life into them. So it ain't all about the money. All the time. Sometimes people just want you to be present, and when you're there, show up and act like you want to be there too. And you can literally save somebody's life and give them just enough to get to the next day. So that's my parting thoughts right there.
Come on, Flex.
Absolutely.
We got Ladybug, man. We ain't had Ladybug on here in a while.
Ladybug?
Where she been?
Hey. Yeah, so appreciate everybody. T. Will, you had something you was about to say real quick before we close out?
I was saying, man, you were saying it's not food, but that is, man, that's food that you feed people, man. That good stuff, man, that good conversation, man, all this information, man, that's good food for thought, man. That's this information, man, is fulfilling, man. It's filling people up, man. So it's just that we have to keep pushing it out there, man, because people we all need it. Not this is for us too. This is a reminder for us to keep going and doing what we're doing, man, and to even get better at it. So it's for us all.
We're getting closer to setting a summit.
Yeah.
Man,
in the city.
Yeah. When your work is done overseas, brother, man, we need you back here. So
yes,
sir.
I see. Thank you for coming on the show, and then she's gonna close us out.
Kenna, I'm not gonna call you Dub. I like Kenna. Kenna, you have been. I give flowers. I mean, and I give. I just said this tonight too. No, wait a minute, just hold up. I usually do this for the women, but I did tell Gerard tonight. I said moving forward, because I pour into men. I pour into I ain't gonna say, 2 of my children, 5. Let me say that 2 of them. I mean, I pray for them, but I just feel like y'all need to give flowers more often. And for me, that's what I'm going to start moving. If they're just not for women, women don't just deserve flowers. Men deserve them too. These flowers are not only just for you tonight, but you're our guest. You're not even a guest anymore. You're family. These flowers are for you because your fragrance is illuminating and it is serving purpose. Even if you overseas, this is how we connect. This is how the atmosphere. This is how the devil is torn down because he has control over the airways. But when we step into those places that he think he control, we come in and shake up hell. I thank God for the substance that he has in you, the ability for you to absorb things and to pour out, but also just the spiritual substance that you have, and that you're free in that space, and that you don't shy from who you are in that context. So I wanted you to know that. So it is an honor to have met you on tonight. I think, and like I said, I just thank God for who you are, but definitely I thank God for him for your spirit. And it is an honor to sit with all 3 of you on tonight. I look forward to doing more shows with you as well, Mr. Killen. But as always, I love to be with my brothers as well. And so we just thank you for being here, T. Will. I'm glad you're back. I call them Cognac, and I got Brandy down there, they're my babes and all that. But yeah, it is a joy to be with you all. And like I said, these flowers are for y'all, and I'm going to give them to you more often because you all deserve it for being just who you are, whether that's Superman, the producer, Flex, a minister, all these are good things. Let's just say the prophet of overseas, but coming through. I just want you to know you are valued. and you deserve to be told that on more than enough. And that's just what my heart is on tonight. I love you all to life, and I'll continue to breathe life into you all. I'll continue to walk this journey with you all, because I know that we have greater to do together. And this is just the beginning. And we ain't we're not going in the wilderness no more. We've come out, so we walking around Jericho. That's right, we making it crumble. That's all I got to say. But we're gonna close out by saying, do what you're supposed to do. Like, share, subscribe. But tonight, share this, because somebody needs it. Somebody needs to be reminded. Somebody needs to be refreshed. Somebody just needs to know to start. And so we need this to be shared on every platform. Tag your friends. If you come back with a replay, we appreciate that too, because it's just as good as it is, being in live. But live is where you really get that. But we got an anointing on this thing. You'll still feel the same thing when you get to watch the replay. So just do all of those things: Instagram, Facebook, IG, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of the above. So until next time, we love y'all. And hey, everybody got a flower tonight.
There you go.
Now it's my turn to tell y'all about my big bro Gerard in the podcast crew. From DJ to realist, Miss Cookie the professor, and you can't forget about the inspiration shit. They talk about it all, got advice for us all. You'll never know how deep the talks will go. On the weekdays, the weekends, they be going live with the topics. Then they do the segment where the floor is yours. You can post your comments, you can post your statements, yeah. You can ask your questions, They can help you get your life moving in the right direction. If you need advice on marriage, advice on finance, advice on healing, advice on credit, this the podcast that you need to check out. Go ahead and tune in, you'll feel what I'm talking about. Baby, I'ma get the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I'm the floor is yours. Baby, come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how the floor is yours. Hey, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Man, that song never get old, dog. I ain't lying.
Never.
That's a hit.
That's a hit, man, for real.
Hey, appreciate everybody. We'll see y'all next time.